OK, then let's get started. Can you turn your nav lights on for me, please?
I'll tell you one thing that isn't working is our wiring's come adrift down here. Like, I've got to... Yeah, it does work when it's connected up.
The compass, have you got a deviation card for it?
No, we haven't, actually. I meant to do that, and I haven't done it.
Back to the sand.
Yeah, we haven't got one of them either. That was one thing that I forgot to get. We've got buckets, but we haven't got any sand. Oh, it was a job that I was going to do, and I got a feeling that I didn't do it.
OK, then, so the PA system, then, can just give a quick call on that?
Yeah, we can.
At the US Embassy in London, the Scilly boys are emerging after their grilling. It may all be at the last moment, but it seems they've charmed the American government.
How did it go, boys? What happened?
Piece of cake. Just walked in. They were quite interested in about what we were actually up to. And then, yeah, that was it.
Broke the smile up.
Yeah, Joby gave her a wink and they stamped it, no worries. Piece of cake. It's a charm, island charm.
How did the fingerprinting go?
It's all right. Joby had to press pretty hard, but they passed him in the end.
And what about you?
Mine were fine. I got soft baby hands. I'm all right.
There's still much to be done, but at least they can now book air tickets to fly to New York in a couple of weeks' time. On the waters outside St Mary's Harbour, Sid's inspection of Sea King is almost complete. Last thing on the checklist is the steering.
OK, when you're ready, Fraser.
Fraser knows that if this fails, he's done for. The steering works like a dream.
It's a good job we stopped that steering up earlier on, or we'd have been struggling to do that.
Sid gives Sea King the all clear on a promise that Fraser will fix the minor problems. And soon Fraser's very much back in business. He's keen to do some catching up. With the holiday season now gathering pace, much to everyone's relief, there seems to be plenty of work to do. So far, the credit crunch, which has hit other parts of the country so badly, doesn't appear to have arrived here yet. It's Easter on the Isles of Scilly. David Easton is about to start his busy season in the chapel on Church Street. The usual congregation has been gratifyingly swelled by the visitors. The pews are bedecked with narcissi, cut from fields around the island in the last few days.
Good morning and a very happy Easter to you all, and a special welcome to those who are on holiday here. I hope that you'll all be able to stay for coffee afterwards. It's in the hall, turn left. I know that you've come to the Isles of Scilly this weekend because it's the warmest spot in Britain.
For people all over Cornwall, this Easter celebration holds a special significance. The Isles of Scilly are the most westerly point of the Anglican Diocese of Truro. The spiritual heart of the diocese is Truro Cathedral in the middle of Cornwall, where this Easter Sunday they've gathered from all over the county to pay their respects to a much-loved figure. The Bishop of Truro, Bishop Bill, is an unusual clergyman in that he seems to appeal to non-churchgoers just as much as his regular congregations.
There you are. Not everyone has kissed Baldrick, have they?
And over the 11 years he's been bishop here, Bill's been involved in almost every aspect of Cornish life. Bishop Bill always had a special place in his heart for the remotest parish in his diocese. He got over to the Isles of Scilly whenever he could, and had his own special ways of charming the islanders. But now Bishop Bill's donning his crook and mitre for the last time. At a service in Truro Cathedral, extra seating's been provided to accommodate the huge numbers. It's an emotional moment. After nearly 40 years as a priest, the bishop himself is struggling to contain his feelings and is worried he might break down.
Any thoughts at this moment, Bishop?
Well, no, the only thoughts of ours is getting through, really. The only way I can get through is just by thinking about nothing at all, really. Right now, I want the microphone. Well, yes.
In the tiny church in the smallest of the Isles of Scilly, Briar, the furthest point west and remotest church of all in the diocese, the locals are also gathering to honour their bishop. Retired priest Donald Marr, who helps out in winter on the Northern Islands, knows Bishop Bill well.
Today, as we are celebrating Easter here in our island churches, most of us as islanders are very conscious that across the great waters in our cathedral church at Truro, our beloved Bishop Bill is leading his final service as our bishop before his retirement.
And so, my brothers and sisters, together we celebrate this Easter. We celebrate with hope and with joy, and we celebrate with each other.
Today, we pray for our Bishop, Bill, giving thanks for his ministry of encouragement amongst us, and praying your richest blessings on his retirement.
Oh, I hope so.
It's gone better than the bishop could have imagined. As is tradition, Bill's moving well away from his old diocese to a small cottage in Wiltshire, from where he's promised to return to the Isles of Scilly as a mere holidaymaker as soon as he can. "5,000 miles away in the back streets of Old Delhi, a young Scilly Islander is getting to know the locals. Paulie is the chef at the only pub on the most northerly of the Scillies, St Martin's. He's come to India with his new girlfriend Thea to look for exciting new recipes to take home and tickle the jaded palates of his fellow islanders.
This one, the banana dessert, it's not a dessert as we know. It's not the chocolate, it's not the sugar. It's quite salty and it has a lot of spice in it, especially the sauce. This one is potato and green pea curry. But like, if you look at the sauce, it's quite thin. It's full of flavour, but it's not too spicy. Like, if you go out for a hot curry in England, you're normally thrown back. This one, the pampin, I'm not sure what it is, but I want to find out because I do really like that one. That's kind of like a supplement for like a mango chutney almost. And the paranthas are very, very quick and simple.
Would the Scilly Islanders like this?
I've never pleased 100% of Scilly yet, and I probably wouldn't doing this, but I think I'd please a lot of people doing this.
You really think they like it?
I really would, because it's something different. Again, it's something you can't get on Scilly. And to learn from the best, and then to cook it at home, can't get any better.
Thea was rather hoping for a romantic break with the new boyfriend rather than a working holiday. But Paula's passion for the local delicacies has put paid to all that. This is the first time you've brought a girlfriend along on one of these trips, isn't it?
It is. Traveling's something very personal to me, and it was quite a scary thought to be going with somebody else, because you can please yourself when you go away by yourself.
So how's it working out, honestly?
Honestly, no, it's working good.
Sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, yeah, it's going together well. And,
is this true love, Paulie?
Oh, Nigel. No, I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know. She's a very special girl.
Paul has promised to make it up to Thea. He's booked a top restaurant to make a special evening of their last night in Delhi together.
Traffic jam.
Back home, the good weather arrives just in time for the big traditional launch to the holiday season on Scilly. It's gig weekend, when the population of the islands doubles with the arrival of 2,000 gig rowing crews and their supporters from all over the West Country and beyond. This year, though, one rowing boat in particular looks set to steal the show. The Scilly Boys is due to be making its public debut at the big weekend, before leaving for the mainland and the journey to Liverpool, where it'll be shipped by container to New York. And there's still a huge amount to be got ready. The senior member of the crew, Chris, has been checking the route.
We're going to come out of New York, first waypoint pretty much east, about 1,200 miles. This is going to avoid the worst, we hope, with the weather around Newfoundland and a lot of negative currents. And then we've got 3 more waypoints, and you'll see that any surface currents, hopefully, will be with us, not against us. But then again, it's all depending on the weather. You know, picking a route and trying to stay on a little rowing boat is two very, very different things.
The boys don't know how long it'll take to make the crossing, so they've got to take a lot of food. With precious little room on board, they've been trying out some novel ideas. Food developed by NASA for eating in outer space. Rowing 2 hours on, 2 hours off around the clock, they'll be burning 10,000 calories a day each. So between them, they could be eating 2,000 of these meals.
There you go. Looks like sick. Oh. Is it still crunchy, is it?
It's alright.
Yeah.
It's a bit chewy in the middle still, but...
And not as bad as it looks.
No. It's alright.
Because it looks horrible.
Once it's warm and you'll be in the boat, I reckon you'd be grateful for it, but... yeah, it's not quite like your grand's Sunday roast.
In Delhi, it's Paulie and Thea's last day. Paul has drawn a line under his search for new recipes so he can devote his time to his girlfriend and seeing some of the city's traditional sights.
What is it?
It's a little girl.
It's a little sheep.
As a special surprise, he's booked a table at one of Old Delhi's most famous restaurants for a romantic dinner for two.
Can I come round and have a look? Yeah.
But Paulie just can't seem to resist checking out the seductive scents that are emanating from the kitchen.
So this was the first place where tandoori chicken was made.
An hour later, and Paul is still there.
12 hours slow oven.
Chili, red chili.
Red and green chili, yeah.
Thea can only hope that her loss will be the islanders' gain. Everything Paul has learned is soon to be put to the test at the Seven Stones pub on St Martin's and could help revive the pub's fortunes.
And how long is it marinated for?
12 hours.
Marinated for 12. Yeah.
Marinated with ginger, garlic,
yeah.
salt, pepper,
yeah.
yogurt, salad oil.
Salad oil, yeah.
Back home, the Scilly Boys' boat is now ready for her long journey to America. She's en route to the main quay on St Mary's, from where she'll be taken at the end of the weekend on the Scillonian ferry to Penzance. Seeing the boat all ready to go will make the next few days a very emotional time for the families and friends of the rowers. Skipper Chris will be leaving behind 2 young daughters. One of the reasons he's so keen to do the row is to raise sponsorship money for the medical unit, which looked after his elder daughter when she was very ill a few years ago. Chris is also saying goodbye to his parents, Noel and Ange. His father's not been too well.
When he told me first he was going to do it, I said, "You've got to be mad." But then I said, "OK, if you want to go, good luck." And let's face it, they've got the chance, and it's once in a lifetime chance. And I would have done it if I had the chance when I was younger. I would have gone for it, but I didn't. But he has, and I wish him all the best.
On the quay, the boat is attracting a lot of attention. And one of the people most keen to check everything out is the Reverend David, who's grappling with how to give such an unusual boat the traditional Scilly blessing.
I'm going to anoint it with oil, as it were, and I'm not sure whether that would be better from on the ground than go to the front of the boat. And then I'm going to invite people to do something else. So I'll think about that over lunch. If I have time for lunch, that is.
The blessing is a key moment in the Scilly calendar, and people will be coming from all over the islands to join in. The youngest member of the crew, Joby, is also looking forward to some of his family giving their support. Up on Tresco, Joby's grandmother Anne has been looking forward to today for weeks. Where are you off to now?
I'm going to St Mary's for the blessing of the boat.
The big day, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Is it important these boats are blessed, do you think?
I think so, yes. Yeah, definitely.
Why do you say that?
Well, it's tradition for a start, isn't it?
It's quite a long way for you to go, though, isn't it? Over to St Mary's.
Yes, but I wouldn't miss this for the world.
There's going to be a few damp eyes, isn't there, this afternoon? Tear in the eye?
I don't know. I'll wait and see. You can't tell until the time, can you? You don't know whether you're going to be emotional until it happens.
Have you got a hanky?
2. I always go all prepared.
For an elderly lady, it's quite a journey. There are no cars on Tresco, so Anne sets off in her buggy. After picking up her granddaughter and grandson, it's off to the beach. Because it's a very low tide, this is the only point on the island a ferry can get in. Over on St Mary's, the Reverend David's on his way back to the quay, armed with his special equipment for the blessing.
Hi, are you in a good, really kind, helpful mood?
Yeah.
You want to go down the steps and fill this up with as clean a seawater as you can find. If you need that, you can have it. Brilliant, thanks very much. Don't ask, I will tell you. And then you can put it on there when you finish.
Seawater on there?
Yeah, cheers, thank you very much. You're a star. What's your name?
Russell.
Oh, thank you, Russell.
Wayne, a paramedic who's the 4th member of the crew, has also arrived for the service on the quay.
Rowers, I want you looking hunky. Reverend, can I have that holy...
I'm dressing hunky, I can't do hunky and holy.
Sounds good.
Then it's time for the moment so many friends and families have been looking forward to, and, in a way, dreading too.
This boat represents the hopes and dreams of the 4 men who will row her across the Atlantic. It represents, too, the people of these islands and elsewhere who have raised money and have helped in so many other ways. The Scilly boys will carry not only Chris, Joby, Tim and Wayne, but also the hopes, prayers and very best wishes of their families, friends and everyone on Scilly and beyond. It draws communities together. Their concern, and even if they wouldn't articulate it and say, we're praying together, that concern, that anxiety, that willing them on as they set out and willing them to come back here all in one piece, that is, it's drawing those people together. It's a bonding thing, really. Some really big challenge in life, it does make you think, well, what is important in life? What's the most important thing? What matters? May they have strong arms and brave hearts. Bless her as she begins her journey and in her coming home.
In the next programme, the Scilly Boys' boat is loaded up at last onto the ferry to the mainland for the start of its long trip to America.
I think we've done all we can now, really. Just got to get on with the next little bit now.
Confident?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there are tears as the rowers themselves set off on the arduous and dangerous voyage which may not see them home until the end of the summer.
3 cheers for the Scilly Boys!